Hello guys and welcome. In today's video, we are going to look at packet engineering. So we want to understand what happened on the wire. So when I mean on the wire, I mean on the link, the packets that flows in and out to make sure that this vEdge has a full connection or establishes connection to the vBond, the vManage, and the vSmart, as well as other vEdges. So as you can see, I have booted my SD-WAN controllers. They are all up, as well as my MPLS core, as you can see over here. What I'm going to do next is to power on one of these vEdges, let's say for site A for the tier 3 ISP. Then we're going to capture packets on the wire as they flow through in and out the vEdge. So at the moment, when I start the capture on the link between our XR prox one, and then which is acting as our PE1, and then the tier 3 ISP site A, there's nothing going on here. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to start the vEdge, and then you'll notice that packet will start flying. So now it will take some time before we see the packet, because now the vEdge is booting, and we can see from here. Let me bring up the terminal. Terminal here, and as you can see, the vEdge is booting. So it will need some time. We can check from the, okay, so now as you can see, we have the vEdge booting, and then you can see some packets going out. These are IPv6 packets. Sooner or later, we're going to see that of IPv4. So I want the packet capture to start. Okay, as you can see, it's currently ongoing. So it's going to take some time, roughly 2 minutes. I'm going to pause the video and come back when the, okay, I'm not even going to pause the video. I think what I need is here. So if we check the vEdge terminal, we can see system ready, if that's correct, system ready. So I'm going to pause this, and then we're going to delve deep into the packets that we've captured and understand what happens when the vEdge comes up. And so our focus is between vEdge 1, and then that is for site A, and then the P1, which is the XR plus 1. So let's see what happens. I'm going to increase the font. So once we have our packets captured using the Wireshark, we are going to see a lot of protocols, as you can see here. So every protocol that is enabled between the vEdge and then the XR1, that's our PE1. We are going to capture it here, but then we're going to filter out to look out for what we are looking for. So first of all, I don't need ICMP version 6, so I'm going to select it, apply as filter, not selected, and I have the app. So basically, when the device comes up, then it's configured with an IP address. It's just asking anybody in the subnet that who has this particular IP address, as we can see over here. So it will continue to send this particular IP, this broadcast, just to make sure that nobody has this particular IP address, and then it can confirm to itself that okay, the IP address that I have on my interface is free and it can be used. So once again, let me just filter out DHCP version 6. I don't need it. And as you can see, the next thing it's going to do is that it's going to look for its gateway. And the gateway is 20.1.1 because I'm using a /30 between the vEdge and then the PE1. And as you can see, the vEdge has been able to identify its gateway on a point-to-point link at this particular MAC address. Now, once everything comes up, now you notice that when you are configuring the vBond, um, in SD-WAN manager, it asks you, once you input the IP address, or let's say the domain name for the vBond, you are going to see this particular port number over there. So the translation is from the vEdge going to the vBond over UDP to this particular port. Now, once the vEdge is able to identify the vBond on the network, or let's say over the IP fabric, sorry, the SD-WAN fabric, they are going to use DTLS to create an encrypted channel of communication. And then they will exchange their certificates, identify each other, and then verify each other. And then the VBond will say that, okay, Now vEdge, you are authorized to be on the network. So if you see clearly, there's a DTS communication between the vEdge, which is 20.1.2 to the vBond over here. And now as you can see, they are exchanging client hellos, and then they are verifying. So the vBond is verifying the request from the vEdge, as you can see over here. And now the vEdge will also send a client hello to this. And as you can see, the server is the vBond, okay? And then the server is receiving the certificate from the vEdge. And as you can see, the next packet, the certificate has been reassembled. The first certificate that it received from the vEdge was fragmented. And then we have the second packet being reassembled. And then you can see that there's a server key exchange over here. And then there's certificate request. We can click on this. Then we go into deep. So we go to the datagram protocol. And as you can see, the DTLS communication over there. So the certificate was assembled, the server key was exchanged, certificate request, and the server hello was done. Meaning that the server has received the certificate and then there's no more hello going to the client. So the next thing that we can see is that after the whole process has been done, and as you can see, um, at this point, the vEdge over here is also sending its certificate. So the first one was from the vBond going to the vEdge, and then the second one is the vEdge sending its certificate to the vBond, as you can see over here for authentication, verification, and then authorization to be on the SD-WAN fabric. And now, after the agreement has been done that they've been able to verify each other, they start to send application data. Now, the application data could be, or is mostly the information that the vEdge will need. And then so for example, something like the vManage and then the vSmart IP address, all the details that the vEdge will need about those controllers will be sent through the encrypted channel all the way to the vEdge. Now, the next thing that you see over here is that this is 10.0.0.3, right? And it's going to 21.2, 0.0.1.2, which is the vEdge. Now, in my topology, the 10.0.0.3 is the vEdge, sorry, the vManage. 10.0.0.4 is the vSmart. And as you can see, right after the authentication between the vEdge, right, and then the vBond, right, application data was sent. So the information that the vEdge will need to be able to reach the other controllers, which is 0.3, which is for my vManage, then 0.4, which is for my vSmart, is being given to the vEdge. And then the vBond has informed the vSmart, then the vManage that, okay, so this device has been authorized to be on the SD-WAN fabric. Okay, and now the vSmart and the vManage begins to talk to the vEdge, and it will go through the same cycle as the vBond went through when it was establishing um, communication with the vEdge, authentication, authorization, and then verification, so that the device can be on the SD-WAN fabric. So right after that, as you can see, the vSmart and then the vManage has established a communication channel to the vSmart over here. As you can see, they will also exchange their certificates to be able to identify each other that yes, you can be on the network. And then it's the same process that you can see for the vBond is happening to the 10.0.3, which is the vManage, 10.0.4, which is the vSmart over there. And as you can see, once the authentication, authorization, and verification is done, now the vEdge becomes part of the SD-WAN fabric. And as you can see, the vEdge will start to send continuous pings to the vBond. So in the case where you have two vBonds in your SD-WAN fabric, it's going to send continuous pings to the vBonds. So if I'm to filter only for this, so let me filter for ICMP. After all the authentication process is done, we can filter for this, apply as selected. And as you can see, there will be constant communication between the vEdge and then the vBond. Now this process took roughly like 2 minutes. I'm not sure, but then let's go up. starting from so let's start from here, which was 537, and let's check the last packet before the communication processes was done. So even to the last packet is 538. So it tells you that the whole process lasted for like, let's say, a maximum of 2 minutes. So this is just a lab environment. For production environment, depending on the speed or let's say the transport links, it could be even faster than what you have here. So this is just a simple breakdown of what really happens on the wire using a Wireshark packet capture to understand um, the vEdge Bootup process and how it establishes communication with the vBond and then the other SD-WAN controllers. Thank you for watching this video and see you in my next video.